Hi guys! Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am Meredith Ellen, and today I figured we would just do my October favorites. I don't think I've ever filmed a favorites video. I will be very honest, I am just a girl who knows what she likes. I use the same makeup products, the same fragrances. It's not too often that I try enough new stuff to make a favorites video, but this month I've been trying to branch out a little bit. I've done a bit of shopping, and I think that I have some good stuff, so we'll just get into it. So for my first favorite of October, I have the Caudalie Vino Hydra. I believe that is what it is called. I got this whenever I was in France. I went to Strasbourg to see the cathedral, and mind you, I've never been to France before. This was my first time going, but I know of French pharmacies just from hearing people talk about them. And everyone always says, if you go to a French pharmacy, you have to get Caudalie. It's so much cheaper than it is in the US. So I went ahead, I grabbed this, I grabbed a makeup remover and a body wash, I believe. There were a few things due to it all being in French where I was like, I have no clue what this is. But I just grabbed anything that said it was super hydrating. I have very dry skin to the point that like it will flake off. It's kind of gross. And I used the Dynasty cream by Beauty of Joseon, but I figured I would give this a whirl. And you guys, I wish that I had gotten more of these. This was only €9, and I tried it. I loved it so much that I was like, okay, well, how much is it here? Girl, 38 USD. 38 USD. Paid €9. I could have gotten 4 of these. I was like, oh my god. Oh, okay. Like, okay. I am kind of like kicking myself for that. I wish I had done my research. But you guys, this is an incredible moisturizer. It moisturizes and it hydrates. So I could literally wash my face, do a toner. I do use an essence just because I like it. I don't think it's like a must. But instead of using my usual hydrating oil and then a moisturizer, I can just use this and I'm fine. It does have a bit of a perfume to it. It does smell like roses, so if you're not into that, I don't know. I don't find it overpowering enough to where I'm like, ugh, I couldn't use this product. But that moisturizer is great. I can't say enough good things about it. I will probably bite the bullet and order it once I run out, and I'll hate every single second of it, but it's a great moisturizer. Staying on the topic of cosmetics, I have been trying really hard to find better lip products for my undertone. I am obviously very fair, however, I have an olive undertone, and so because of that, neutrals tend to look very orange on me, and then anything that's too cool kind of makes me look like I'm in rigor mortis. So I've been doing my research mainly around MAC products. For the longest time, I've been like a ColourPop, Fenty, what else do I use? Oh my goodness. Even just like drugstore lip products, honestly. I just have the hardest time with them. And so I've recently been focusing on MAC because they have a bigger color range when it comes to lip products. I went ahead and I purchased Root for Me. It is this like absolutely beautiful plum color. I was kind of nervous when I picked it up online because it was really dark. It almost looks like it's the same shade as my nails. But when I put this on, it complemented my skin so well. I am wearing it in my last video that I posted, and it was just absolutely gorgeous. It also kind of just gives an edge, right? It's neutral enough to where I could like wear it to the grocery store without feeling like everyone's looking at me, but it just adds a little like sultriness to it as well. And yeah, I can't say enough good things about it. I do have some other ones on my list. I think I'm gonna try Cool Teddy next. I have tried, is it Warm Teddy? Is that what it is? I used to work at a fragrance counter in Dillard's, and I would always play in the MAC stuff, and I believe it was Warm Teddy. Yeah, it was way too orange on me, but they didn't have Cool Teddy at the time. This was like back in 2019. So I'm gonna have to get my hands on that. So back on the topic of MAC, I got 4 MAC lipsticks this month, all shades that are supposed to be good for a pale olive. I have Alone Time, which this was all over Xiaohongshu. The Asian girls like love this down. It is so pretty on their skin tone, and it comes off as almost like a grayish. And then I also got Signature Move, which is another one that's very big on Xiaohongshu. This one has a bit of more like, I guess, warmth to it. It comes off more pink on the lips, whereas Alone Time kind of has like a mauviness to it. And then I got Syrup, which is like the neutral pink that everyone swears by for pale olive. And it's okay. I tried it. It's very time and place. It does come off very pink on me, but I needed a pink lipstick anyways. However, my favorite one is Thanks. It's MAC. This is the best lipstick. Like, this is my perfect nude. And I know all of these are kind of probably looking the same, but it is this gorgeous, like, pale rose. And it has some flecks of glitter that are so small that it just kind of like adds to the shine. I love this. I've been wearing it every day. This is the lipstick that I'm wearing in my last video with Root For Me as the lip liner. But this is pretty even on its own. I wore it with a Charlotte Tilbury liner that I will put the name of on the screen because I cannot think of it. And it was a very, very pretty combo. We are still in cosmetic territory. I am a big fragrance girl. I don't know if I'd say I have a signature scent. I guess if anything, Kayali Vanilla 28 like is my signature scent. It's the one that I wear the most. It's the one that I layer the most. However, I am very much like a vibe fragrance wearer. In the summer months, I tend to wear a lot of like, there's this one Kairosa scent that I wear from Sol de Janeiro. I'll have to put it on the screen. But it smells like sunblock and like warm sand and coconuts, and I absolutely love it. I have a few designer ones that I wear too. I like Burberry Her just like everyone else. I have Mon Paris by YSL. But Kayali Vanilla 28 is like my go-to. However, recently I, on TikTok, have learned about the brand Okja. Is that how you say it? Okja? I'm probably like the last person to buy from them, I know. However, I went ahead and I bought Praise the Perfume by them, which is supposed to be a dupe for Melanie Martinez's Crybaby Milk. I can't tell you how good of a dupe it is because I've never smelled Crybaby Milk. However, I love this damn perfume. It's so good. It is strawberry milk, caramel, and then it also has a powder note to it. I would say if anything, once this settles down and dries on my skin, it is really just strawberry milk. However, out of the bottle, the powder is very strong. It is. Whenever I first smelled this, I was like, But then whenever I wore it on and it like really sat with my skin chemistry, it is a very pretty, just lactic, fruity scent. It is definitely a gourmand, so if you're not into that, it might not be for you. But I love it, and I want to say I only paid like $45 for it. I've been wearing it nonstop. It sticks on my clothes phenomenally. It also sticks on my skin so well though. Something about my skin chemistry. I am someone who really has to like continuously reapply perfumes, and with that one, I don't. Next, I have a candle. This is Into the Night by Bath and Body Works. This was a blind buy for me. I bought this online whenever the 3 wicks were on sale for like $14.99, I believe. And the reviews for this were really great. I wasn't aware that this is a perfume that they do, or a body spray, if you will. But it is, let's see what's in this. Raspberry Noir, Velvet Rose Petals, and Mocha Musk. I was a little bit surprised whenever I opened this and smelt it. The musk really gives it this almost like typical cologne scent. Like when you walk past a man and you're like, oh, he smells good. Like just like your generic cologne, right? But the raspberry and the floral notes in this really add something feminine to it. And it's almost like seductive in a way. It feels a little bit sexy without being super overpowering. The raspberry in it is really, really nice. And yeah, I'll have to like, I feel like I'm not the best with explaining fragrances. I'll have to like make a little mood board to put on the screen to really get my thoughts across for this. I burn this at night whenever I'm reading. And it's nice. It's just very sultry, I guess, is how I would describe it. So I do have one jewelry item. I picked these up whenever I did a little staycation in New Orleans this past month with my mom. We went to see Hozier, and I wasn't really in the mood to spend money on a whole new outfit, but I was like, I'll do some cute accessories, right? And I got these from Disturbia. They're these gorgeous little like cathedral style earrings, and they just add such a nice alternative edge to like any outfit. I'm the type, I like the Southern Gothic vibes, if you will. Kind of gives vampire, creepy Baptist church in the background of a field, that type of thing. And this really gives that. I think that they are such a cute accessory. I put these on with like a little sundress that I get from Aerie and just like a nice pair of sandals, but it still helps add something. It gives it some personality, I guess, if you will. And I adore them. I think I only spent like 25 bucks on these. And I've been wearing them nonstop. I've even been wearing them like whenever I'm just throwing on a sweater and like a pair of Lululemon shorts and going to the grocery store. Just gives it a little oomph, I guess. Lastly, I have my books of the month. I have read so much this month. I've been really trying to make a dent in my physical TBR. My husband is also currently furloughed because of the government shutdown. So trying to save money and stay home, I've had nothing but time to read. I know that my last video was a 5-star reads video. However, I want to talk about these books again. I have 2 of them. The first one being Anatomy, a Love Story by Dana Schwartz. This book is absolutely incredible. I still have not read Immortality. Like I said, my husband's furloughed, okay? But once the government shutdown is lifted, I will be buying the sequel to this. This is about a girl named Hazel in Victorian era Scotland who wants to study anatomy and become a surgeon. However, at the time, women were forbidden from studying anatomy and working with dead bodies. You could be a nurse if you weren't like upper echelon or a socialite. However, Hazel is a socialite, so it is just not seen as something that's appropriate for like a woman of her standing. And so because of that, none of the doctors who teach anatomy are willing to help her learn or to allow her to work on cadavers. So she ends up meeting Jack, who is a body snatcher, and he agrees to help her get some bodies to practice on, to learn anatomy on, to practice surgery on. And then also at the same time, you have the Roman fever going through Edinburgh, and she's trying to find a cure. And it is just absolutely incredible. Through this whole story, there is some romance in it. I did say this in my first review that I did of this book, and I'll just repeat it again. It says it's a love story, and in a way it is. It is still YA, so it's very much like they kiss and they're like, oh, I like you so much. It's not as if like you were reading an adult romance novel, right? But it is an incredible story. I absolutely love Hazel, and I really love Dana's writing. This is the first book I've ever read by her, and it's incredible. I can't say enough good things about it. I'm 25 and absolutely fell in love with this book, but while I was reading it, I was like, if I had read this whenever I was like 13 or 14, it would have been my favorite book ever. It is an incredible read. I've been recommending it to everybody. My sister, who's still in high school, I recommended it to her. I think it's just a really great book. Okay, next is Blood on Her Tongue by Joanna Van Veen. This is one of the best books that I have read so far this year. I feel like everyone is really talking about this book right now. I picked this up because of Rachel Gillig, the author of One Dark Window and The Night and the Moth. I follow her on Instagram, and she's friends with Joanna. So when this book, I'm not sure if it was when it came out or when it got this like new cover and sprayed edge situation. Either way, Rachel ended up promoting it, and I was like, well, I love Rachel as a writer, and so I'll support anything if she says it's great. You guys, this book is phenomenal. It is so weird. It's categorized as horror, and I personally didn't think that it was that scary. It is very eerie, a little grotesque. It's very erotic. I would just describe it as wacky. However, I did see some reviews where people were like, this book creeped me the fuck out. So I think it just depends on what you consider scary and what you don't consider scary. But I thought that it was really great. It takes place in 1880s Denmark with twin sisters Lucy and Sarah. Sarah and her husband live in what is like a drained bog, and they end up finding a body on their property, and Sarah just becomes very infatuated with it by trying to understand it, trying to figure out who this body like is, and somewhere along the way it just like really possesses her mind, and she ends up writing to her twin sister, there's a woman in my head, I can't get her out, please help me, she's trying to kill me. And her husband also ends up writing her sister and is like, you need to come see her, we need help. And that's where the book starts. And you're basically following, is it Sarah? Oh, Lucy. You're basically following Lucy as she's trying to figure out what's going on with her sister, trying to make her better. There's a lot of secrets in it. I will say, like, trigger warning, there is talk of like child loss in it, but I couldn't put this book down. I had no idea where it was going at any part. Whenever I initially read the blurb for it, I was like, oh, it's schizophrenia, or like maybe it's paranormal. I honestly couldn't tell you where it stands. Joanna's mind is so crazy. Her imagination is insane. I don't know what the hell is wrong with her, but I like whatever is wrong with her. It was great. I have been recommending this book also like crazy. I text my mom whenever I was 100 pages in, and I was like, you have to read this book. Like, you have to. I think I described it as bananas. I was like, this book is fucking bananas. Yeah, like I said, can't say enough good things. I do have another book by her currently sitting in my Barnes & Noble cart. I believe it's called My Darling Dreadful. I have no idea what it's about, but the cover art is like super creepy. I'm gonna have to purchase it. I'm gonna have to, because like I said, I love Joanna and I love her writing. And I think that that is it for all my October favorites. I was trying to think if maybe I had some like music that I've been into recently. I have been listening to the new Grimes, Artificial Angels. I love Grimes. I can't help it. I love Grimes. I've also been getting into Castlevania too, the anime, not the video game. The anime is based on the video game. It's on Netflix. Lots of vampires and whatnot if you're into that. But yeah, I think that's all. So I will see you guys next time. Mwah. Bye.